I can't forget the day I walked into my first English language class. Some students were dancing, others were playing games. They didn't even care if I were standing there. I greeted the class and told them my name and my purpose. They didn't even look at me. I took my register and called the names of all the students in the class, but nobody responded. So I asked the question, "What do you guys want me to do?" A student from the back shouted, "We want you to shut up." Another student yelled, "This is our fourth time repeating English language. Just shut up and show us how to pass the exam." I stood there for the entire session, and nobody looked at me. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to Teach the Easy Way. Would you like to learn how to study verbs? Come into my class. Let me show you how. What you need to do is to look if the verbs are in the past tense or the present tense. You need to identify if the verb is an auxiliary verb or it's an irregular verb or a regular verb. Then you will find it easy to find the odd one out. We have some verbs right here, and all you need to do is to examine the verbs, and then you need to find the one that is odd. And remember, guys, it is simple. It is not as hard as you think. You only have 10 seconds to figure it out. So the odd one out is the word are, A-R-E. Let me tell you something, guys. If you look at the verbs, we have talk, we have grab, we have play, we have kick. All of these verbs are action verbs. The verb are is an auxiliary verb, so that is why it's the odd one out. Let's look at question number 2. You need to remember to look if the verbs are in the present tense or the past tense. Next, you need to look if they are in different categories, right? So your task is simple and you only have 10 seconds to find the odd one out. Did you figure this one out? Oh my gosh, there are 2 verbs that should be out. Okay, let me explain this to you. The verb cut, put, split, all of these verbs, they do not change in the past and they do not change in the past participle. So these verbs remain the same. Now the verb see changes in the past to saw. And the verb dig, it also changed in the past to dog. So if you did not get this one correct, you still have another chance. Let's move on to the next question. So guys, remember, you have 10 seconds to find the odd verb, and it begins right now. Did you get this one? What are you thinking? Yes, I can see that you're saying they are in the past tense, but then if you look, you see some verbs that are in the present tense. So next you have to look at the categories. What category do these verbs belong? Yes, they are auxiliary verbs. And the verb win is not an auxiliary verb, so it is the odd one out. Let's move on to the next question. You have 10 seconds to find the odd verb, and it begins right now. So the odd one out is the verb hold. Come on, guys, I hope you have figured it out because all the verbs are in the past tense. Came, saw, cried, they are all in the past tense except the verb old. So old is in the present tense. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so there's a change to the game. So if you look, we have present tense, we have verbs in the past tense, and we have verbs in the past participle. Now these three verbs belong to me: fit, hit, and split. The verb that belongs to you is the verb sit. What does the verb sit mean? It means to be in a particular position or state. All you have to do is to select from the three verbs on your left the verbs that should fit in the past and in the past participle. Now guys, you only have 10 seconds and it starts right now. I hope you have figured this one out because it is the word sat. So sit in the past tense is sat and in the past participle it is sat. Oh my gosh. Let's move on to the next question. So here we are saying that we have another set of verbs. And remember, these three verbs belong to me. It is set, bet, and wet. And if you notice that these three verbs remain the same for the past and the past participle. Is it so with the verb get? The verb get belongs to you. So guys, get means to receive or to have something. Guys, your task is simple. Which one of these verbs should go in the past? Which one of these verbs should go in the past participle? And remember guys, the clock is ticking. You only have 10 seconds. What is your answer? Oh my gosh. Yes, it is get, got, gotten. I hope you have recorded this. Let's move on to the next question. Now we have sing, drink, and swim. These verbs belong to me. The verb that belongs to you is cling. And cling means to hold on tightly to something. Okay, guys? Now, if you look at my verbs for sing, the past tense is sung and the past participle is sung. So what I did is to change the I and put a A to get my song. Then I change the A and put a U to get my song. Now guys, is it the same thing with cling? And you only have one to figure out. What is the verb for the past tense? Guys, you have 10 seconds to do so. And the answer is clung, C-L-U-N-G, and it's the same for the past and the past participle. Let's move on to the next question. So here I have three verbs which belongs to me, and of course the verb that belongs to you is belch. Now let us look at my verbs. I have teach, catch, and buy. And the past tense for teach is taught, and the past participle is taught. So if you notice, there's just one change. For catch, it is caught, caught. For buy, it is bought, bought. Is that the same thing for belch? That's what I'm asking you guys. You are supposed to figure out which verb should go in the past and in the past participle. So the verb belch means to emit wind noisily from the stomach through the mouth. So guys, your task is simple. You are supposed to choose one of the verbs over on your left. Now guys, you only have 10 seconds and the clock is ticking right now. So the answer is belch. And if you notice that you just add the ed, so it is belch, belched. So you add the ed for the past, and you also add the ed for the past participle. Let's move on to the next question. So here we have ring, swing, and spin. Now for the past and the past participle, the verbs remain the same. So spin changes once to spun, swing to swung, and ring to rung. So what we want to do, guys, is to ask you, is it the same for swim? What does swim mean? It means to propel the body through water by using the limbs, fin, or tail. Now, guys, remember your task is simple. Choose one of the verbs on your left to go right in the past tense, and your time starts now. What is your answer? Yes, your answer is swam. And I just love these games because they actually show you the right form of the verb. So the present is swim, the past is swam, and the past participle is swum. Now, this is good and I love it, guys. I hope you love it too. Let's move on to the next question. Now we have wake, speak, freeze, and write. Now, guys, the verb that belongs to you is write. And of course, I helped you out by putting in the past tense, which is wrote. Now, if you look at my verbs, which is wake, woke, woken, speak, spoke, spoken, and freeze, froze, frozen. Now, guys, is this the same for write and wrote? Guys, what is the meaning of write? Write means to mark words or letters or symbols on a surface. So I don't want you to make any mistake when I say write. It's W-R-I-T-E. What is the past participle of write? Guys, you have 10 seconds to give me the answer. The answer is written. So guys, of course, by now you notice that you can't just do verbs. You have to memorize them. You have to know them in order to use them. So that's what we're doing here. Write, wrote, written. Let's move on to the next question. So let's go. We have wear, tear, and swear. And if you notice, for the past tense, it is wore, and the past participle is worn. Now, is it the same for soar, which is S-O-A-R? S-O-A-R is for you. What does it mean? It means to fly or rise high in the air, or quickly increases by value. So we are saying, guys, your task is to choose the verbs on your left. That should go in the past and in the past participle. Guys, you only have 10 seconds to do so do it quickly. I hope you have chosen the correct answer. The answer is soared, and all you have to do is to add your ed to the end of the word soar. So it is S-O-A-R-E-D. Of course, I need to do part 2 and part 3 of this series. Here is a sample of my next video. You are required to use the image as a hint and find the present tense, the past tense, and the past participle verb. This is what I use to help my students study English language, and I hope I can help you too. Please subscribe to my channel so you will be one of the first to be notified when I upload this video. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.